I always knew I was adopted, but my parents never talked about my biological family. As I grew older, I became more curious about my origins and started doing some research. One day, I came across an old newspaper article about a family who was brutally murdered in their home. The only survivor was a young child who was put up for adoption. As I read the article, I couldn't help but feel a chill run down my spine. The child's name was the same as mine. I asked my parents about it, but they brushed it off, saying it was just a coincidence. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Then, one night, I had a nightmare that I was in that house, watching as my family was murdered. I woke up in a cold sweat, convinced that it wasn't just a dream. That's when I started noticing strange things happening around me. Objects moving on their own, weird noises in the middle of the night, and the feeling of being watched. I tried to ignore it, but one night, I woke up to find a note on my bedside table. It read, "I'm still here. Now, I'm afraid to sleep. I don't know who or what is haunting me, but I know it's connected to my past. And I'm starting to realize that my adoptive parents might be hiding something from me." But before I could investigate further, I heard a noise coming from outside my window. I turned around and saw a pair of glowing eyes staring back at me. I froze as I stared into the glowing eyes. They seemed to be getting closer and closer until I realized that they weren't just eyes. They belonged to a dark figure standing outside my window. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. The figure pressed its face up against the glass, and I could see that its eyes were empty sockets. Suddenly, the figure vanished. I was left alone in my room, my heart pounding in my chest. The next morning, I tried to tell my parents what had happened, but they didn't believe me. They said I must have just had a bad dream, but I knew it wasn't just a dream. That figure was real, and it was connected to my past. I decided to do some more digging, and eventually, I discovered the truth about my biological family. They were involved in some kind of cult, and the murders were part of a ritual sacrifice. I realized that I was in danger, and I needed to get out of there as soon as possible. But before I could make a plan, I received another note. This time it read, "You can't run from your past." I knew then that I was trapped. Whatever was haunting me wasn't going to let me go. And now, I'm left wondering if I'll ever be able to escape the horrors of my past.